Okay, had a tough, hard-fought victory last Saturday. Real proud of our team, the way they responded. We faced a lot of adversity. Real proud of our coaches to get a victory there. On to this week, obviously it's a big week. One of our rivals playing at their place. We hadn't had a lot of success over there as of late, and we got to solve that. They're a very talented team. They're always talented, and they play well at home. So we've got to play well. Our guys understand that, and our guys will be ready to go. Questions?
What's Sean's status for this week?
He'll start.
What's Kamryn's status?
We're hoping that to get him on the practice field today or tomorrow. I mean, he's done well so far. He's kind of a quick healer. I'll know more later in the week, but he is planning on practicing.
Can you tell us what is required?
Yeah, it's a leg injury. Yeah.
What about defensively? Obviously, you get Deshaun back, but Trey Williams, is he a guy you're expecting to?
Yeah. Trey Williams will be back. Obviously, we get Deshaun back. That'll help. And of course, those guys are kind of our quarterbacks. And hats off to the linebackers that took their place the other day. That was really impressive what they did. Quarterback and the whole deal. But yeah, we should have everybody back ready to go defensively.
Is Sean? What percentage would you put on his health?
He's not 100%, or we would have started him last week. But he went in there, did a solid job. He'll be better this week than he was last week. We'll see how it goes in practice. Like I said last week, he didn't take any practice reps. He did warm up on Thursday just to see what he could do, but he didn't take any practice reps. He'll practice this week.
Is that a shoulder?
Yeah, it's an injury.
What about Tony Stevens?
Tony's back. Tony's ready to go.
Gus, depending on Pettway's health and status for Saturday, how do you feel about the rest of the personnel being able to run between the tackles?
Yeah, I feel pretty good about that. If you look at, we didn't have Pettway one game, and KJ's done a super job. Stanton Truitt has done a very good job running between the tackles when we've asked him to. So we feel good. We feel good about what we have. We're not ruling out Pettway yet. We wouldn't be surprised if he plays. But at the same time, we've got other guys that'll be ready to go. We've got a lot of confidence in those guys.
Considering we brought Chandler back some in the spring, early camp this year, would you consider doing more of that?
Yeah, that's a possibility too. He's a good runner. He ran very well in the spring. Came out of the spring probably as good a runner as anybody we had. So we'll see.
Gus, you talked about learning things about this team. What did you learn from your team Saturday?
Well, they can handle adversity. They showed a lot of guts, a lot of courage. Anytime this year and you're playing well, you're going to be the target of everyone. You can get their best. We got Vandy's best. They had a week off. They played extremely hard. We had the feeling at home. We were down at halftime at home when we were expected to win. And when you have that feeling, you can overcome it. I think that does nothing but help your team. But we're very proud of the courage they showed, the guts they showed, the toughness, even special teams. We had a lot of new faces out there. We had a lot of people go down that weren't there, and it was a really good team win that I know that'll help us, in the future.
Because you alerted everyone at the beginning of the year that this defensive line could be one of the best in the country, if not the best.
Mm-hmm.
How's it aligned with those expectations?
Well, I think they played well all year, and now we got some young guys starting to step up to help us with depth. It's been a good year up front. We got to continue to build upon that thing, and this week's no different. We've got to play well up front, but we've done that every game so far.
The nature of Sean's injury, Gus, do you have to do a pitch count thing with him in practice? Or is
We're going to be smart with him.
Right.
He will practice this week, but we're going to be smart with him. He's a tough guy. He's a real tough guy, and he showed a lot of guts and a lot of courage last week.
What is it about a guy like him that seemingly makes everybody?
Yeah.
Even the defense seems better.
Yeah, you've seen it before. Sometimes quarterbacks have that effect that they just, you put him out there on the field in the second half, and it was just like a new energy on the sideline, and we got back in our groove and our flow, and That says a lot about your quarterback being a leader of the team, which if you have a good team, your quarterback's usually one of your leaders. And, his teammates have a lot of respect for him. His coaches do too. And, that'll help him moving forward too. That had to feel good for him too.
Yes, can you talk about the wide receiver block? It was exceptional against Arkansas. Didn't look quite as good the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, we got a bunch of freshmen and redshirt freshmen out there, and they're still learning. They're playing hard. We're making a few mistakes, but they're going to play hard. They're going to play their guts out, and so we just got to keep working, and we'll do that in practice. And they did some good things blocking too. Now, I mean, there was some good ones that resulted in some pretty good runs too. So, we're young. We just got to keep improving.
So, very big picture kind of question here, but after the so-so start of the season, what do you credit most? What things do you credit most for being where you are now?
It's our leadership of our players. I mean, that's really where it starts. Went through a little bit of a storm early. Coaches are used to dealing with that. They're more mature and all that. But the leadership of our team, they never budged. They didn't listen to any kind of negativity, and they just kept working. We never had a bad practice. We never had a practice where you feel, oh no, But it's our players. It's our leadership. They deserve the credit.
When you look at Jacob Eason, I think everybody has had really high expectations for him the minute he showed up at Georgia. Just what have you seen from him in film this week that shows you that he's getting better every week? And then
I think it's like anything else. Anytime you have experience of something and big games and everything that goes with it, the more comfortable you get. Now he's at the end of the year, and he's played a lot of snaps, and you can tell he's more comfortable.
Do you treat him maybe different than you would some other freshman quarterbacks just based off of his ability?
Each game and each quarterback's different, and you have a specific plan of how to attack, and they're all different. So, we'll have a plan.
Looking at Georgia's defense with obviously Kirby, how much carryover do you see from what he did at Alabama to what they're running right now?
Yeah, there's carryover. There's no doubt. I mean, it's his defense. There's carryover. They have a lot of talented players, and they had a lot of talented players where he was at before. So he's used to coaching talented players.
Does it help you at all by having the familiarity with what he?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, we know each other very well, have a lot of history. We've been against each other a lot.
What's it mean for the guys from Georgia to go back to their home state? I know you got a lot of them on your roster, but does this game mean more for them going back and playing against Georgia?
It probably means a lot that the ones that are from Georgia, and there is quite a few. But it's a big game every year. I mean, this is one of our rival games. I mean, so whether you're from there or not from there, it's always going to be big. If you play here at Auburn.
How is Josh Holsey? I know he's had a couple big plays the last 2 weeks, but how has he played this year?
Yeah,
He's been?
Josh has had his best year, I believe. I mean, just stability, leadership. He's a quarterback on the back end. He has the ability to make a play when a team needs it. You've seen that 2 weeks in a row. In the fourth quarter of games that were yet to be decided, he made the play of the game. So, that says a lot about him, and he's playing at a very high level right now.
I think you see a lot of the East, Gus, and there's some great cornerbacks there, but Josh is putting himself statistically in the conversation for all SEC, possibly All-American. You just said it's his best season, but do you think he's one of the best cornerbacks in this league?
I think the way he's played this year really speaks for itself. I mean, he's an outstanding player, and he definitely deserves to be in the conversation.
Montravius entering this season was going to be a big player for you, but how much have you seen him grow just this year alone?
Yeah, he's a different player this year. Now, he was a really good player before, but he's really raised his level, and he's becoming a man. I mean, he's growing up. He's more mature. His approach to practice, approach to games, and just one of our best players. He's an impact player.
Can you talk about the importance of having Deshaun and Trey back this week against a team?
I think that's really big. Both those guys are playing at an extremely high level. They're both like coaches on the field. They quarterback the defense. When they're on the field together, it's a good thing.
When when the switch kind of flipped on Travis? I know he struggled a little bit early on in his career at Auburn, but when did it kind of start figuring things out?
Yeah, I think it's been a process. After his freshman year, I think you can see him just every year just gradually, mature and get used to college football and everything that goes with it. But this year has been like, it's really been impressive to watch.
Have you talked to your players about voting today?
I have not.
Is that an important thing that you might address to them?
Yeah, I'm sure I will.
Because we had heard that Marlon Davidson was a little banged up before the Vanderbilt
Mhm.
game, and that's why Derek Brown got kicked outside a little bit. Do you suspect he'll be fully ready to go?
Yeah, he was banged up, and he did a good job of coming in and doing a good job. And Derek Brown's a guy that can play outside or inside, and thought he did some really good things, last week on the outside too.
As you dealt with injuries at quarterback, we dealt with Sean last year after the Arkansas game. It was a leg injury against Ole Miss. You dealt with it with Nick in 13 with a shoulder injury against Arkansas. Just how much does, in particular, shoulder injury to a quarterback affect game planning, affect strategy for what they can physically
Yeah.
are capable of doing?
Yeah, I think anytime you have an injury, it affects, how you approach not only game plan, but how you approach practice. And, every injury is different though, and you just, but it definitely affects you.
Some of it last week in the second half, Sean's only 20-yard pass was the touchdown. Everything else was short, or was that in large part due to the injury?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. He threw a really good ball on that 20-yarder, but it was really on the other side of the field too. So it was probably close to a 35, 40-yarder.
When you guys look at video of Georgia on offense and defense, what kind of talent do you see?
Yeah, they're talented. I mean, they're always going to be one of the top 10 teams that recruit, and they're one of the top 10 teams talent. So they're always going to be talented.
Marrying the Georgia question with the defensive line question earlier, there so many of these linemen that you were able to rotate are from Georgia. What's been the success that you've had, specifically in the trenches, of getting guys? What do you credit that to, getting guys out?
Well, I mean, I credit Auburn being a special place and a great school. Rodney Garner having Georgia ties. Traditionally, we've always recruited well in Georgia. It's a big state, for our success.
Anything else?
Gus, you said Saturday after the game it's just becoming more and more difficult to coach up the the targeting rule and all those things after Deshaun's ejection. Is that something you feel like after this year you might bring up again in meetings about what are we going to do about this?
I don't know about that. I think that's probably, around the country. That's player safety is the number one thing, and everybody needs to be on the same page with that, and I am too. It's just a matter of just, what is and what isn't. We obviously focus on staying away from the head and all that, but we'll I don't know what'll happen in the off season, but I know that's around the country that's always a big discussion.
Anything else?
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you.